We're just trying to close up the wealth gap. Get to this generational wealth, bet that. We gon' lift off like a jetpack. Time to tune in, not just speaking real facts. Right here is everything you need. This ain't no get rich quick thing. Create your own economy. Cause we ahead of the crypto curve, yeah. Create your own economy. Let's get ahead of the crypto curve, yeah. Learn from the queen of crypto, your host, Najah Roberts, leading people out of financial slavery through Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Create your own economy.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Ahead of the Crypto Curve, where we are creating Satoshi millionaires, one family at a time, one Bitcoin at a time, one Satoshi at a time. And ladies and gentlemen, that means you. I am your host, Najah Roberts, and it is my mission in life to lead my people out of financial slavery. Today is Monday, February 13th, 2023, and I cannot believe we are halfway through. Almost halfway. Well, it's halfway through because February is such a short month, but we're halfway through Black Futures Month. And so we definitely have a lot of things to talk about. This cryptocurrency space is boiling over with good, bad, and indifferent information, and we're sure going to bring it to you all. But before we do that, I want to say a happy birthday to Alex Banbury, our cryptopian for the day. Happy birthday to you. I wish that your day is full of love, peace, and joy. And again, happy birthday. If you'd like a birthday shout out on your birthday, please feel free to send me a text message at 424-317-7373. Now, as we get into this cryptocurrency space, wow, we got a lot to do and a lot to cover, but it is Black Futures Month. And we are honoring or have honored over the weekend two gentlemen, one by the name of Corey Marshall. Corey Marshall hails from the New York area. In fact, he is one of the instructors now for the Bitcoin Academy with Jay-Z and Jack Dorsey. And he's just a really good overall guy, really down to earth, is a comedian, and we really enjoy being in his presence. And I am just so happy that he is the champion for Bitcoin in the Brooklyn, New York space. And so they have Brooklyn meetups and things of that sort. And Corey is very instrumental in helping the team on that end put things together in Brooklyn. And then we have Mr. Charles J. Kelly. Some of you know him affectionately called CJ the Smart Guy. And he actually hails from right here in Southern California. In fact, he was coerced to go to school to be an accountant, and he was to work with the late great Nipsey Hussle. And so CJ went ahead and got his degree and everything that he needed. He has all of his licenses to be a certified public accountant, and he specializes in cryptocurrency taxes. And he does a phenomenal job. And he's been on the show a couple of times, and I'm just really proud to be a part of his growth, be one of his clients. And when you all hear me talking about the person that will accept less for the taxes to be done if you pay them in Bitcoin, Charles J. Kelly would be that person. And so let's just say I owe him $500 for my tax return. And it's more than that, but I'm just giving you a round number. He'll tell me that I can give him 400 if I pay it in Bitcoin. And that's how you acquire more and more Bitcoin, through the things that you're doing. If you're offering your friends and family or your clients for a lesser price to pay in Bitcoin, they're more likely to get that Bitcoin to you. Now, again, it's not Bitcoin that you bought. It's not Bitcoin that you were doing anything other than a good and service. And so when we think about money, when we talk about money, when we understand exactly what money is, I will continue to repeat, money can be anything someone is willing to trade with you for goods and services. And so, Charles or CJ, we just gonna call him CJ, the smart guy, because that's what I call him normally. He is setting that example by accepting Bitcoin in his business and understanding that at a later time, the price of Bitcoin is going to be way more than it is right now. And so he's just taking advantage of being able to trade his clients their tax returns or their tax knowledge that is given out for Bitcoin and utilizing Bitcoin as that money to actually trade for goods and services. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward, we will get into the cryptocurrency conversation because I know you all recognized yesterday during Super Bowl there were no cryptocurrency companies. So, we're going to talk about that. It's the elephant in the room. I know a lot of folks thought I wasn't going to say anything, but I was hyped last year, but for the wrong, not for because they were at the Super Bowl. And we'll talk about that when we come forward. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right, we'll be back in just about 10 seconds, so hold on. Hope y'all had a great weekend. Great weekend. Good afternoon, Mind Changer. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All All right, welcome forward, welcome forward. So, as I was saying before we came forward to this moment, that there were no cryptocurrency commercials this year at the NFL Super Bowl. And so, last year, if you have been listening in with me since last year, I was all hype last year, not because there were cryptocurrency companies that were advertising at the Super Bowl. I really wanted to bring awareness to the companies that were actually advertising and how detrimental those companies have been to the Black cryptocurrency community. I actually, and you can take a look at my tweets, stated that unfortunately FTX, people forgot the fact that they came out with a nigger coin the year before last, and so nothing was actually said. And in fact, right before the Super Bowl, I think it was Steph Curry that joined on, and I was hot about that and hating the fact that all of the people watching the NFL Super Bowl last year were going to be herded to these companies. I little did I know that FTX was going to screw everybody, but those of you that listen and didn't patronize them because of how they really tattered the relationship with Black cryptocurrency, with the Black cryptocurrency community, you didn't get caught up in that debacle. And then the other one was Coinbase. I don't know if you remember Coinbase, but I'd stated, Coinbase's treatment of Black employees and women was deplorable. And so, not to support them either, but they had a Super Bowl commercial. So, at this year's NFL Super Bowl, I know no digitized high school ads with LeBron James talking about crunk in the future, and no low budget QR code bouncing around the screen, because that was as low budget as it got. But it was very, very eye opening because people expected noise and those sorts of things. And so that QR code and people running to the screen was great marketing, and it got millions of customers to join Coinbase. In fact, Coinbase's website crashed on the Super Bowl last year. And there were also no cute Shiba Inu commercials. And Shiba Inu, you all know I've been telling you all, it is another ploy to extract funds from the community. And they've been doing a really good job. And I'm being sarcastic, saying, yep, it's kind of sad. But I am really happy that those three representations have not fared well. And for those individuals that got involved with those platforms, hopefully Coinbase will stand the test of time. But we know what has happened with FTX, and Shiba Inu is not doing all that great. And there is an unlimited supply of those coins, so there is no future scarcity or anything like that. So just be careful. But after this year, but after the year we had in cryptocurrency, that full spectacular failures of trust, ethics, and corporate responsibility is at hand. And I think it is a testament to people getting too involved too early with hype. And I have to say that because this isn't the hype space, but when you bring individuals that come from that Wall Street um, culture into this space, they want to make this something that they're used to, and it's something that they're not used to. And sadly, a lot of folks get hurt. And so that's going to lead into some of the conversation we're going to have in just a few minutes. But it's really not so sad. In fact, it's a good thing that there were no cryptocurrency companies that were at the Super Bowl. No cash, no sports washing. And sports washing actually describes a group of corporations or national states using the global popularity of sports to improve their reputation. And this happens all the time. And so, with Bitcoin's price being less than half of what it was a year ago, any cryptocurrency company, even substantially in the green, is still preoccupied right now with surviving. And I don't say that in a bad way. I just think that a lot of companies have had to pivot. And so they're figuring out how to be more relevant, more compliant, and all of those things, which we have done from day one. And so I think everyone is catching up to where we are. However, they don't give those of us credit that are in this space doing the right thing for the people from the very beginning. And so when these other folks catch up, they're going to make it like they've invented this way to do good and to really run um, businesses that are within the Bitcoin ethos, and that everyone is winning and everyone is saving because they've been winning hand over fist. But these big, flashy market spins that they did last year can definitely wait. So that's it for sports washing. The cryptocurrency space, in my opinion, is going to be out of those. Um, and so the Super Bowl did have some NFTs. So for those of you that are not aware of what an NFT is, when Rihanna was singing and doing her thing, there is an ability for people to buy what they call moments. So, a moment during her dance, they can like snip a picture and they can actually sell that as an NFT. It's a non fungible token. And yes, that is a type of cryptocurrency. It's not Bitcoin, it's not Ethereum. And remember, there are over 30,000 different cryptocurrencies out there. But this NFT was made available. I will be checking in to find out exactly how well the NFT did with Rihanna. And, I was reading some of the other things that were going on, but the sentiments about cryptocurrency companies, and last year everybody had their chest out. They were really cocky. The executives were really cocky about what they were doing in the cryptocurrency space, and they've had to back down off that cockiness. And I absolutely love it because we have been dealing with this cockiness for a while. But I know, and a lot of other people know, is because they were taking advantage of individuals that didn't understand this space. And so I'm glad that their ego and their boasting and some of those things have really subsided, and they've kind of almost tucked their tails because they don't have the sentiment that they used to have last year, which was I made it, and really uh, feeling as though they were better than everyone else. And so it was more about ego than it was about cryptocurrency. And so now this will give everyone an opportunity to start to educate themselves more and more. And crypto executives are not expecting to earn this year what they earned last year or the years before, because again, they're not taking advantage of people buying Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, holding it on their platforms, allowing them to do whatever in the world they wanted to do. And then when someone got savvy enough and understood that they need to take their Bitcoin or cryptocurrency off the exchange and put it in their wallet, until that point, these companies were just doing and making a boatload of money. And so, that cockiness is gone. And so I'm super excited about that. But with that, unfortunately, we've had to do some, and I say we, I'm talking about the cryptocurrency space in general, has had to do some scaling back because of the Super Bowl last year and all the commercials. There was such an influx of individuals. They needed more staff, they needed more all sorts of things. But when these companies did not hold true to their promises, they had to start letting people go. And so this industry late last year started laying off more and more and more people. And then with this whole FTX debacle, it just really made it worse. And so there are a lot of people that are watching the space, but I tell you, those of us that have been doing good business in the space, educating people the way that they should be. And again, I contend that consumer protection is education. Not that there's anything wrong with cryptocurrency, some cryptocurrencies, but not that there's anything really, really wrong with the actual coins or the technology itself, but there is a lot wrong with the mindset of our nation because it's all about their gain and someone else taking a loss. And we've explored the fact that currency just moves from one hand to the next. It never goes away, it just moves around to the different individuals who come up with the best way to hold and obtain the money. And so, as we learn more about cryptocurrency, we need to start thinking in solidarity about our personal lives, us being the holders of the money, us being the ones that hold our wealth, control our wealth, tell ourselves when we can pull money in and out. And, I had a situation this weekend where I needed to take care of something with somebody for the cryptocurrency cruise that's coming up, and they wanted me to send them a Zelle. Now, I have money in the bank, and I get ready to send the Zelle, and they have a limit as to how much I can send for the month. And so it's just interesting how your money that you earn, that you have, just constantly gets the permission taken away from you to do what you need to do with your money. And it wasn't that, I'm upset that I couldn't wait till Monday, but it's just the fact that maybe because I do this show, maybe because I'm in the cryptocurrency space, they have limited even less amount that I can move on any given month. And it's a 30-day window or something. And it's just unbelievable. And so the more and more those things happen, the more and more I am reminded why I am in this space, why I am looking for self sovereignty, and why the very foundation that Bitcoin was built on was about us taking our finances into our hands and giving the power back to the people. So, there is just a new frontier. It's a lot of things that we've got to do. There are a lot of untold riches that we have got to get exposed and really just really have or move towards mass adoption. And I say in our community because we can't really push when people's mindset hasn't changed and they're thinking get rich quick. And I think a lot of people come to this space get rich quick. And I think that's what some of the things that happened with the Super Bowl, because people were looking at the amounts of money they were making at these exchanges and they thought that this was a get rich quick space, and everybody jumped in and expected to get rich quick, gave up most of their retirements. And I'm not talking about in our community. I've been out and about where people have walked up to me and tell me they lost their entire life savings with the likes of not just FTX. There was a debacle right before that that happened with another exchange and another coin. And so it's really sad that they're going to have to put together some laws and things, which we're going to explore in just a few minutes. It's going to definitely hurt us. But again, most of the things that have happened in this space have been about greed and not about people and not about a revolution and not about a change in the status quo, a change in the hierarchy of holding money and being about wealth and closing the wealth gap, because that's what this is about for most of us that are really in this space correctly. This is an opportunity for us to close the wealth gap as it exists. And I challenge each and every one of you, those of you that are thinking that, hey, cryptocurrency can't be a way to close the wealth gap. And I'm just going to say to you or ask you, present me what you think can close the wealth gap in America for our community. And I will show you how Bitcoin has a better chance than any of those other things. Now, again, those other vehicles to wealth, I'm not saying they don't work. I'm not saying that they don't work for your family specifically or a group of people, but for the most part, our entire country needs an overhaul as it relates to money because we definitely deserve more than we have. And in order to get what we need, they always say it takes money to get money. It definitely does that. And if we're living paycheck to paycheck and barely trying to figure out how to feed our children, there's no real opportunities for us to get ahead. And the more we go backwards to go forward. And I'm saying sometimes people going to school sends them backwards and it doesn't all the time do what they expect. Getting these degrees does not give them a boatload more of money. It may give them about 50 cents to $1 more, but they put themselves in more debt. And so all of these things we look at as it relates to what we can utilize to close the wealth gap. And I believe cryptocurrency is it. So when we come forward after news, traffic, and sports, we will consider talking more about this life altering cryptocurrency. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right, welcome forward. Welcome forward. We are going to jump into this whole uh, thing about cryptocurrency and some of the regulation that's coming down. But I forgot to do my quote, so I'm going to back up and do my cryptocurrency quote. It says, "Those who are in search of financial pearls must put on their gear, dive below the surface, open up their eyes to a whole new world." And that is what we are doing. We're diving for pearls right now. And they're not always open and out. You got to open up these shells, they're inside of the clam shells, and pull that pearl out and really hold on to that pearl because it is scarce. It is something that you are going to be able to use later. And I'm excited about that fact. And so that is my quote for today. And then we look at the market. And so, what is the market doing? So, we are all red in the Bitcoin space. And what that means is Bitcoin is on sale. And so, that red sale sign is out. Bitcoin is at $21,624. It is down in the last hour 0.20%, and in the last 24 hours is down 1.4%, and in the last 7 days is down 5.9%. Now, let me just tell you a little crazy reason why I'm excited about this being down, because sometimes when we have to bank, we run a business, we run a cryptocurrency business, but we have to do some banking. And so sometimes bankers and banks are not as friendly as they should be to us in this industry. And so sometimes when people buy Bitcoin from us, they buy it, of course, with fiat money, money that's in the bank. But when the money shows up and they put a hold on it and all of those things, obviously we want to sell the people the Bitcoin at the price it is on, let's just say, Friday, as opposed to what it is today, which is Monday, because so many different things can happen in 2 or 3 days in the cryptocurrency space. So someone bought a substantial amount of Bitcoin on Friday. Because we do what we do with our exchange, we gave them their Bitcoin immediately, even though the bank had not released the actual cash that needs to be utilized to purchase the Bitcoin. And what we have to do in order to keep inventory is go to Bitcoin miners, different companies, and we have to repurchase that Bitcoin. But we want to do it in really close cost to what we sold it at, or we're losing money. So if you understand the volatility, you understand why it's so important for us to get people's money, get their Bitcoin to them almost instantaneously so no one loses, while simultaneously repurchasing more Bitcoin to put back on the shelf. So I hope that makes sense. So this entire weekend, I have been crossing my fingers. Well, not necessarily crossing my fingers, but praying to the Most High that Bitcoin did not drop. Oh, I mean, not drop, didn't go up like $10,000, $5,000, because it's happened to us before. But with such a big amount that someone purchased on Friday, we just did not want to take the chance of Bitcoin just raising in price and then we take that loss. And so I'm happy to see. I was happy every day this weekend. I kind of got nervous yesterday because Bitcoin was jumping yesterday. And I said, oh no, just do not go on a bull run. And so, as you start to really understand how volatile this is and how it can increase in value based again on who's willing to pay what for the actual coin, you'll understand why it's important that you get your Bitcoin at the best price you can and that you are constantly dollar cost averaging and not just getting these big, large lump sums of Bitcoin, because it can go down in price and then you can be feeling like you're losing, but you're not losing unless you sell. So I just want to make sure that we're understanding that. But I'm happy to see Bitcoin down to 21, because that's kind of where we were on Friday when we had that whole, bank holding funds for till Monday and all those sort of things. So with that, Ethereum is at $1,485. It's down in the last hour 0.40%. In the last 24 hours, it's down 2.4%. And in the last 7 days, it's down 9.5%. And as I look at all the other cryptocurrencies, as I scroll, they're red again because they are following the trend of Bitcoin and doing what Bitcoin does. And so, if you're going to buy anything that is doing what something else is doing, please have that thing that everyone else is mirroring, and that's Bitcoin. And again, that is I'm sticking to it. I am sticking to it. So I'm not providing financial advice, but that's what I do and that's what I'm going to stick to. So with that, you can go and take a look at these different cryptocurrencies, even the ones that everybody has been touting in the last couple of weeks that they've been doing incredible. They're up 1,500%. Well, they're down now. Some of them 11%. Some of them I'm looking at one at 50%. And so this is the way the space works. And so what creates things, what creates chatter and what creates the mindset for people to let their Bitcoin go cheaper. And so Bitcoin's price tumbled just a teeny bit. And so we look to figure out what has happened to create this for different cryptocurrencies. So the threat of new regulatory crackdowns, ladies and gentlemen, is what it is. I'm just going to keep it 100. Everyone, people that are doing the right thing in the cryptocurrency space, people that are doing the wrong thing in cryptocurrency space, they are actually wondering what this digital asset market is going to look like and what our government is threatening to undo or to do, and they haven't really said what they're going to do. So everyone is trying to find out what they're actually going to do by way of regulation. And with that uncertainty, a lot of people are kind of staying where they are or getting on the sidelines, meaning they're pulling their money out of the they're pulling their money out of stock market. They're pulling the money out of cryptocurrency. They're pulling their money out of the Forex. We're just looking at these numbers back and forth, but a lot of traders, a lot of individuals that invest is kind of like double dutch. They're jumping in when the time is right. They're doing their jump and then they're jumping out. And so if you can think about double dutching and how you see people kind of moving back and forth to get in alignment so their head or their feet don't hit the ropes. That is what is happening in all of the financial spaces right now. And again, not just cryptocurrency. And so we have got to really pay attention a little bit more than usual. And I will say this to each and every one of you. You go to work every single day. So please, if you go to work or you are someone who is very, very busy and does not have time to watch this cryptocurrency market, do not take chances on coins that are expected to pump and dump. Because if you get in when it's pumping at a very low price and you don't get out and take your profit in enough time, by the time it crashes, you have lost everything and there is no liquidity for you to get out. So please be very careful, especially right now when we're listening to the government and all of the threats that they're making. And again, they're basing their threats on what they've experienced with FTX. And FTX is not the cryptocurrency space, but that's what they're going to utilize because that's the pain point they feel to make rules and regulation for the rest of us. And so we're all on our anticipatory tiptoes to see what they are about to come down the pipe with. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward, we will continue the cryptocurrency conversation. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right, welcome forward. So I am going to just say this as we come forward. Someone asked me, do we feel like we're looking down the barrel of a gun from the US government? And I say to each and every one of you, absolutely yes. I feel like we're looking down the barrel of the US government's gun because we have no idea what they're about to do, and they are so mad with this space because of Sam Bankman Fried. In fact, what has happened is those individuals that didn't like cryptocurrency anyway, this has given them some major ammunition. And since they've also last week, they find Kraken. Kraken is an exchange just like my exchange, but again, Kraken was holding people's Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and they were also allowing staking services. So, someone asked what was staking, and so I'll do that in this portion, help you understand what staking is. But they fined them $30 million because staking actually was like a um, giving taking someone's cryptocurrency and loaning it out to someone else, almost exactly, not almost exactly, exactly what the bank does. You deposit your $100,000 in the bank, and they may give 50,000 of it to Susie to buy her Mustang convertible, and then they may give another 25,000 of it to somebody as a loan on their against their property, and then they give someone else the other 25,000 as a loan for something else. And so these individuals are paying back 9% interest. They're paying back 10% interest. If somebody has terrible credit, especially Susie, who got the Mustang, she may even be paying 19% interest on a loan uh, from one of the from the car company. I don't know. But what they've done is they're getting interest on that, on the Bitcoin that you've given them, to allow them to, you're staking it with them, and then they're giving you a little bit of interest back. But the reason why it was so appealing to everyone is because it was way more than the banks were giving. I've talked to people that were getting 8%, 12% a month on their Bitcoin staking. And so you can't really tell people, you know what, don't do the staking thing, even though I've said it, because you're really cutting people out of making some money that they were never used to making with the banks. And so people really weren't receptive to you telling them what not to do with their Bitcoin or their other cryptocurrencies, because they were staking them and they were making good money. And it was almost like they couldn't lose. And so I've heard so many people say that they were FDIC backed. And so I had to correct some folks, but they still didn't believe me because of the language that these companies were utilizing. And they were, in fact, not FDIC covered, and they didn't have insurance. A lot of people were using the company, um, Lloyd's of London, to pretend as though their depositors would be safe because they had this type of insurance, and like it was all wrong. However, again, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is showing up. They fined Kraken $30 million last week, and because of all the other debacles, they are really going to come hard on enforcement. And we are in the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. What I feel like, and I just feel like we're in the middle, are the beginning stages. I'm not even going to say the middle because it's just begun, but we're in the middle, I mean, the beginning of major upheavals. And it's going to come from many different places, and enforcement is going to be coming down. And this sector is going to be shaped piece by piece, and we will see the greatest threat to trading platforms such as what I have. But the good thing, again, is we do not custody people's coins, so we shouldn't have any of those problems. But some of these other exchanges will definitely have issues. I have also gotten wind that a lot of people have been getting emails telling them to move their Bitcoin off certain platforms because of the fact that those platforms cannot do business in the state of Texas. And there's going to be, I think there's going to be many more to come, and that has to do with their money service business license again because they're holding or custodying someone's Bitcoin, and so there's a big difference. And so when we look at this space, a lot of things are changing, and I just really feel like we're poised to really make the best change for the community all the way around because everyone is going to probably have to operate how we're operating. Sell them the Bitcoin and give them their Bitcoin, but that's not going to allow them to have those lofty extra budgets to work with here in the future. So we're bracing ourselves just in case you did not think I was worried. I'm not worried because I know that everything happens for a reason, but I do want them sooner than later to tell us what their game plans are going to be in Congress, in Senate, and all of those things with all these regulatory agencies. So we know how to move in this space. And so since we're mission over monetization, it won't be hard to make those pivots. We just need to know what we need to do. And we've got to be paying attention every single day because something could change and we never know. And then they have problems with that. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward, we're going to continue to do the same thing that we've been doing, and that's our daily dollar cost average. And the good thing is, this day, today, we will get to buy more Satoshis for $6 than we could just last Monday because the price is down 5.7%. So we get a little bit more bang for our buck. So when we come forward, we will get into our daily dollar cost average. This is KBLA Talk 1580. meetup.com/crypto plug, like you plug something in the wall. Again, that is meetup.com/crypto plug. And you can sign up for either the Ledger and Me 123, that's where you store your Bitcoin offline, or the Crypto Essentials, where you learn about cryptocurrency. And you can do that in the month of March. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take out our wallet. That's on our cell phone, and we are going to go to the Black Wall Street wallet, and we are going to click on continue. And there's a purple circle in the middle that you can continue with. And then from there, we are going to pick $6. I'm going to put it in my KBLA Talk 1580 wallet. And I am going to purchase $6 worth of Satoshis one time today, because I'm doing it every day, but you can set it up and forget it. And you can do this on your own. You can do this once a week, once a month, whatever you want to do. But a DCA a day, dollar cost averaging, keeps the volatility out of the picture. And so we're doing this live on the air. And so I want each and every one of you to figure out where you fit in. No amount is right, whether it's $2, a dollar, $100,000, whatever you can afford to lose, you can get involved in the Bitcoin space specifically. You can get involved in the cryptocurrency space as well. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you for rocking with me here on Ahead of the Crypto Curve. We are making way for the DL Hughley Show, and we all know that this is a great time to do anything, because so many things are changing. You just got to put your head down, pay attention, and learn all you can learn, because wealth is transferring. This is Najah Roberts, and this is KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Najah Roberts on Ahead of the Crypto Curve. Please follow her on all social media platforms at Najah Roberts. No underscores, no dots, no numbers, just Najah Roberts. Let's close the wealth gap. It's our turn. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Learn or get left behind. Create your own economy. Let's get ahead of the crypto curve.